going, ladies and gentlemen? LevelMDiecast, episode 46. Diecast haul today. We have a ridiculous amount of Hot Wheels, so I do apologize about that at the beginning. Not the greatest assortment, but we're going to kick it off with something that is not exciting, and hopefully we can get to something that is exciting. Bubble-matic, nothing fancy about this, just a weird oddball casting I like to collect. This one is from 2017. Just something weird. Just, we like the weird stuff here at the channel. We're not all the mainstream stuff. Of course, it is, a bubble machine. You do open this up, and you can actually use that to blow bubbles, which is interesting. There is an interior in there. There's a seat. It doesn't do anything else. Of course, it is a fantasy, fantasy generic. Got some turbo fans on the back. Again, nothing fancy. M09 is the day code on that guy. Right, chomp. All right, another older one. This is the Talbot Logo. This one is on short card. This is a green metallic with lace wheels. Just one I didn't have. This one is from 2005, which is definitely probably one of the last times they probably used this casting. So take a look at this one right here. Looks pretty good. I like kind of older cars, Art Deco, some stuff like that. I like just elegance of the cars, I guess you can say. Fan of 30s era cars. I think they are pretty nice. Didn't used to be a fan of 30s era cars back in the day, but I've matured. All right, moving on to something current. This is Mystery Models series number 1 for 2024. I did pick up just one. No, it is not one of the fancy ones from this mix. I just picked up one that I particularly wanted myself. There is a little sticker comes with the Devencinator. I particularly like that casting. I think it's pretty cool. There is the deco for this one. Looks okay. Does have a modifiable chin spoiler on the front. After all, it is a track car. But I like this one. I think it's kind of cool. Got a clear body on it. There's not really any interior per se. But this one looks pretty good. So a little base deets on there. So it does have a metal base. There we go. Looks pretty good. Definitely not one of the better releases of that particular casting. Deco-wise, but again, it's a fantasy, so it is what it is. And don't worry, we have plenty of stuff that's real stuff. As a matter of fact, we are going to jump into the B case for 2024. So 2024 B case. See B case right there at the top. So one of the things that I didn't notice from the first A case stuff that I picked up, if you're curious on what is a 2024 model, this little corner right here is now white. So they have white coloring there versus just the regular blue. So it's a dead giveaway. If you see them on the pegs, you can tell it is a 2024. Hot Wheels Braille Racer Twin Mill. This is the third deco for this guy. This guy looks pretty cool. I think the original release with the chrome and the silver, and then we got like a white one. Those ones were pretty cool. This one doesn't look as good, but I do like the matte finish to it. And of course, it is Braille, so I don't know how to read Braille, but it is Braille. Sorry about that. Didn't realize we were out of focus. There is also Braille on the base. Nothing fancy here. Just a casting that it's been out for a little bit, a couple of times. That is the third guy. This guy, I believe, is on the third color as well. This is the Honda CB750 Cafe for the Rod Squad series for 2024. Just a motorcycle. We just talked about motorcycles the other day. There is your Cafe. Looks pretty good. It is metal body with plastic. That green on the top is plastic. But pretty good prints on it. The seat pretty much wraps all the way around, so it's a really good print. So I'm pretty happy about that. I do like this newer wheel that they came out with for these type of motorcycles. I think it was a good fit. It does have a integrated kickstand as well, so it could just sit there with no problemos. As a matter of fact, we'll just sit him right there with no problemos. One of the models that I thought was actually going to be quite difficult to find, the Proton Saga, the Malaysian car. It's a big deal for Malaysia. Pretty much not going to be a big deal for anybody else on the planet. Probably going to end up being a peg warmer in most countries. but I think it looks pretty cool. There is the Saga on the side, looks pretty good. Kind of interesting with the flat bottom there on the back. This one does have a little bit of extra prints, so it's got full side prints there. Full front prints as well. There is your logo on there, looks pretty good. This is actually a pretty good model. Of course, it's right-hand drive because it's from Malaysia. There is the deeds on the base. It's actually relatively wide. It's actually a relatively large casting. This looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I'm sure somebody out there in the world is going to be screaming, "Hey, let's see that one in premium." I'm not going to go that far. I think that's a little much. Recolor for the Nissan Patrol Custom. This is the 4th color. We had 2 colors last year, plus one, I think it was a Kroger exclusive color. This is the first kind of different direction for it. It is decoed up with Mountain Rescue, which looks pretty good. It's kind of like a Snow Rescue. There is the interior, the big two turbos sticking out the top. Prints all along the top, looks pretty good. No print on the back. It's got the spare tire delete mod. Gives it like 2,000 horsepower for that. Base pretty straightforward. S34 is the day code for these, so we're still in the 30th weeks, 30th number weeks for production for both Hot Wheels and Matchbox, really. All right, enormous, gigantic, ridiculous Mazda AutoZam. This thing is bonkers. That's probably one of the largest wheels that Hot Wheels makes. And this is just an enormously large blister. Hot Wheels Dream Garage brand spanking new casting, just like the Proton Saga was. This one is absolutely bonkers. Of course, this is the Hot Wheels Legends Tour winner. So they really did take a K car and make it a giant off-road just like this. It looks pretty good. There's the engine detail in the back. Some fire extinguishers and stuff up there at the top. Kind of cool getting the print wrapped around that little cage piece on the top. And then print on the front looks pretty good. Like I said, these wheels are absolutely enormous. They're so big. They're so big. That thing is just, look how big that thing is. It's such bonkers. We'll see how many colors we get of that. I think it's interesting. All right, recolor for the Audi RS e-tron GT in white for Hot Wheels Green Speed. Because yes, you know, Mattel is still pushing the whole EV thing. It's still coming out with a lot of EV castings too. There is your plates deets there. It says plug and go. Just plug it and go. Should say unplug and go. It looks pretty good though. Full front and rear plate or details on the prints and stuff like that. The prints look especially nice on this one. Very, very, very nice. Just a little bit of a spot there right in the center below the Audi symbol, but that's some pretty good prints. It's don't often get too many good prints like that, so throw him in there. Recolor for the Mod Speeder. This was a new casting last year. I think this casting actually looks pretty cool. This one for Hot Wheels Modified. Crack this guy open. So this is not a track car, so it does not have a adjustable chin spoiler. This one looks pretty cool. Hot Wheels has done a bunch of these kind of style decos with, you know, these Hot Wheels, and then it like fades into like a different print when it comes off of the bodywork. I think it's kind of cool. It's pretty unique. It's pretty unique, especially when you look at it on the top there. It does say Hot Wheels across it, but it's kind of ghost style over here. This casting is kind of cool, just the way it's kind of built. The cowl cover and stuff is part of the glass. And then, of course, there's a ton of engine detail in there. And then you even got some exhaust out the back. Looks pretty good. So, again, not a new casting, but that is a first recolor for that one. So that one looks pretty cool. Definitely like that one. All right, we are on the 3rd deco for limited grip. We got a couple decos last year. This is for 2024. So, again, still rocking some pretty cool looking decos. This one for the Rod Squad series. I do really, really like this casting. I am still on my kind of kick where I love like all this exposed bodywork and stuff like that. I think it looks super cool. Couple of turbos right there. More than likely an LS for sure. A little bit of print on the top. Looks pretty good. Like the roll cage detail in the back. It's kind of all exposed and opened up. Looks pretty good. It's pretty good details on there. There is your print on the side. Does come with just standard gold 5 spokes, but I think it's cool. Same deco side to side. No print on the front because there really is no front end it's pretty torn apart. It looks pretty cool. I definitely like that casting. That one is a pretty cool one. All right, a casting that we haven't seen for just a little bit, the Road Bandit. I do have quite a few of these. I don't think I have them all. I don't think we saw this at all in 2023, but it's back now. Kind of a custom modded bus looking thing. Not really sure what it's supposed to be, but there's a lot of space inside for seats and stuff like that, as you can see. And then just your driver's seat, big, huge supercharged motor there. Hot Wheels version, of course. Does say Bandit on the side, Road Bandit, with those nice spiral wheels. I do like those. The orange you see here is part of the interior. It's an interesting build for this particular casting. And of course, that's all part of the glass and stuff like that on the top. The blue is the only thing that's metal, but it is a generic casting, so you can't expect too much of it. It does have a chrome base, which is completely pointless. You barely see any chrome whatsoever. You know, you hear Mattel's, you know, well, I guess the people that work in the diecast realm that are always talking about how expensive the chrome is to do, but yet you get something pointless like that on a generic model, which I think is a little bit ridiculous. El Segundo Coupe, first recolor for this one. This one did come out last year in a charcoal color, so apparently you'll be able to have this in Unleashed 2 turbocharged for Hot Wheels Turbo. If you play the video game, which I don't play the video game. I don't play the Hot Wheels video game. It does say number 68 on the side. Of course it does. You know, since 68, they use the number 68 quite frequently. This is a generic, but I think it looks fantastic. There's already a recolor coming this year. So we'll get another version of this casting this year for sure in the main line. I'm sure it'll show up in 5-packs and stuff going through into the future and stuff, but I really like that one. Looks good. It's a cool casting. It's generic, but it's cool. So we'll put him in the front. All right, moving on to another color for the Lolux. Again, another model I really like with all that exposed bodywork and stuff. Hot Wheels Modified. I think this is the third color. I think this is the third color we've gotten on this one. But I think this might be my favorite one. This one looks fantastic. Of course, it says graphics. And oh, look at that. Number 68. Wow. Wow. Who would have thought number 68 would show up? There's the details on the side. Kind of a super futuristic kind of look to it. I really like that, actually. I love the offset wheels. Big, huge steelies in the back with some PR5s in the front. Looks pretty good. But tail light details right there on some simulated diamond plating. There's a big, huge motor down there with a couple of stacks coming off. Very interesting design, but I really like that casting a lot. I think that casting is super, super cool. That is definitely a casting I would like to see in premium, but that's definitely not going to happen. All right, next one up, the Ford F-150 Lightning Custom. This was a new casting last year. This is the first recolor. Of course, it was in like the prototypical blue Ford last year. Now we get it in a red color. Looks pretty good. For Hot Wheels Green Speed, at least this one's a little bit better take on the whole electric car thing. But this one's like super modified, but Hot Wheels is pretty good at doing that. Pretty good taking standard stuff and Hot Wheelsifying it. Of course, that's where the statement came from. Does have F-150 printed on the top. You can see the kind of framework through the glass. Looks kind of cool. Kind of like that look. It's a cool casting. There's a lot going on with it. It says F-150 embossed in the back. A lot of crazy body work going on. Does have lensed headlights as well. So this is a pretty cool casting. It's very big. It's very big, and it's definitely not for track. You can see with that giant spoiler on the front, this is definitely not a track car. But I think it looks really, really cool. And but it's a huge casting. It's just like it's a giant casting. It's really big. All right, next one up. This is a recolor for the 56 Corvette. We did see a couple of colors last year. We saw pink and blue. For Barbie, of course, Barbie. This is Ken's version. This is Ken's Corvette. He's Ken enough, apparently. Very interesting. This has a full back seat in there, which, of course, a actual Corvette, there is no back seat, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's a bit fantasy. There was a version of this in the Barbie 4-pack that was sold on Mattel Creations as well. So my assumption is that we'll get one more color for this casting in the main line before they start to do some repeats. That would be my guess. It's a matte gray color. It actually looks pretty good. Feels pretty good to touch too. It's pretty nice. There is the base deets, nothing fancy. Just some stuff that we've already seen. So nothing to rat home with. One of the best castings in the whole mix, the Porsche 911 Carrera RS 2.7. This is a recolor from a new casting last year. This one looks pretty nice in black and yellow for factory fresh. Get this guy open. Particularly fond of Porsches. In particular, as you guys already know, does say Carrera on the side. I think the wheel choice is perfect. I do like the black base. I think it works perfectly with this to bring out the black bumpers. Prints on the front look pretty good. Of course, just one little mirror on the side. Some nice prints on the back. It does say Porsche. It does say Carrera up there underneath the wing. And then, of course, it's got lensed tail lights, which is pretty nice. Not a feature that we'd get all that often. But that one looks really, really good. Very, very good. A little bit of silver print for the door handles as well. So that one didn't show up that well. But there is silver print on that side. So that one is pretty cool. So I guess we'll put that guy on the bottom. And then one oddball piece. Did pick up the USS Enterprise NCC 1701. I don't know if I already have this or not. This might just be a reissue from a previous one. But, you know, I wasn't collecting everything Hot Wheels many years ago. So they have some of these new reissues. I figured I'll pick them up. And if I tend to pick them up in back-to-back cases because I forget that I have them, then it's okay. You know, it's only $1. So, well, $1.20 nowadays. But comes with a little stand, which basically looks like one of those little tricorder or thingies that they have on their chest to, you know, beam me up, Scotty, type of thing. There is the actual Starship Enterprise, the NCC 1701. If you talk to Trekkies, guys that know Star Trek, there are many, many different versions of Enterprises, very many generations. They're basically directed by specific ship commanders and stuff like that. I used to work with a guy who was quite the Trekkie, and he told me a lot of stuff that I can't remember, but it was cool that there's such crazy lore about that. All right, post these up on my Instagram a little bit ago. Pavement Pounders picked up two pretty hard to find ones. These are exclusive decos in these particular packs that I've been looking for. This one I wasn't really looking for. This is the 348. I wasn't really looking for that one, but I just happened to pick it up because it was there and I got it for a good deal. So I wasn't going to pass it up because I don't have that casting, or that version of the casting, I should say. So we'll go ahead and rip this open. Again, these are relatively rare to come across. And when I tell you guys things are rare, yes, you can go on eBay. There's pretty much everything exists on eBay at any given time, but you know, your actual ability to, like, you know, actually find this stuff at swap meets or toy shows or stuff, I think that lends a different joy to getting something like this versus just, you know, clicking on eBay, order, ship it to my house, and yada yada yada. I think that should be more for like filling holes and gaps and stuff. So this is taped in a double clamshell. So I do apologize for all the plastic sound right now. Oh, man, they went a little overboard with the tape, didn't they? Holy cow, dude. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever tried to open. All right. I got one more of these, but next time I think we'll make it a little bit easier. Okay, so these superseded the super rigs that we see nowadays. So these are pretty rudimentary when it comes to like kind of what they are. They're not very good, and these wheels were specifically for this line. These are not like mainline wheels or something that they pulled out and used. It's pretty heavy. This red cab is actually relatively heavy. It's got quite a bit of metal to it, but it's not that great. The super rigs they have now are pretty good. The trailer is just really junk, just not very good. It does have a ramp on it though, I guess is something. And then just the stand is just kind of pressed in there. It's just a piece of plastic, so they're really nothing fancy. But It does hold the car. Put the car up on there. Doesn't quite hold 2 cars, as you can see, but it's okay. It says Prestige Motorworks on it. It's a thing. I'm not a huge fan of those, but you see, it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. So we're gonna get that off the screen. All right, 348. Now there is a version of this deco which is pretty similar to this, but this one does have the Ferrari symbol there on the front. Looks pretty good. It is in a nice metallic black. You have your Hot Wheels logo on that side in red, and this side as well. And then, of course, you have the 5 dot wheels where you feel like you're just going to put your fingers in there and pop them off, which is kind of cool. And then red interior. So, like I said, this one is exclusive to that pack. You will not see that deco on single card or nothing like that. So, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to pick that up. But this is the one that I really wanted, and I was more than ecstatic that I found it. I love the Soul RCX4. It's one of my favorite Hot Wheels of all time. I have almost every single one ever released. I have a bunch of pretty rare variations, but I couldn't find this one at all. And as a matter of fact, this one's actually even really hard to find on eBay. It does come up. It's not like it never comes up, but it's hard to find. And realistically, I don't really feel like it's a $30 item. I don't think this is 30 bucks. I certainly did not pay 30 bucks for this. Matter of fact, I didn't pay even 30 bucks for both of them together. But I still think that, you get a lot more joy of getting something in person. But I do understand that there's going to be a lot of things that people come across that you just can't find. And if you do happen to get it, it's probably going to be on eBay. We're just going to do this a little bit more sensible, not be such a ridiculousness thing for it. And pull that up. Get our CX4. Be gentle with that one. And then we have another truck version. So I don't think this one comes off. I think this trailer is permanently fixed on there. Yeah. Try to pull super hard. Very interesting look on the front. Definitely looks like a GMC top kick, which is okay. And then it kind of gives like that custom look as you go back. Clearly you can tell this is the only thing that's metal and the rest of this is plastic. No interior or anything like that. The trailer is pretty crappy. You see the sticker is not all that great either. The trailer is really bad. Like really bad. It does have a ramp that folds down in the back. And then it's kind of open in there. This particular model will fit. So the model does fit in there. You can see the model sitting down in there. But yeah, the trailer is permanently hitched to it, which is a little bit of a bummer. You can't take that off or do anything with it, but that's okay. All right. The Solaire CX4. So it's very interesting to see this thing with a clear window. Very rarely do they do anything that doesn't have like a dark tint to it. You can see where the axle press in is down there. That's part of it. But there is an interior in there. There's a seat in there. This particular one has blue on the side. Says number 41 Hot Wheels logo with the lace wheels, which looks very good. White base on there, China. So China base on that one. And then, of course, it still has the opening hood, which looks fantastic. And, of course, they're always sprayed with the hood closed. So the top of the engine always has like a fade on it. I think it looks super cool. Really like the way that they do that. It's really nice. There is the deets on the back. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I really like that one. I'm going to put that one towards the top because I'm pretty stoked to check that one off the list. All right. Moving on to the most... Well, I guess this wouldn't be the most current. Actually, this is the most current because the 2024 Boulevards have not released yet. This is the last mix of 2023. Last mix of Boulevard. Absolute last mix. There is the mix there. I'm sure you guys have seen this mix. It takes me a really long time to get Boulevard. Boulevard is impossibly hard to find. As a matter of fact, I had to buy this set on the secondary market, but I got a good deal on it. I got it for like 45, maybe 50 bucks. I think I got it for 50 bucks. So I got a pretty good deal on it. I don't think 10 bucks is unrealistic, especially for the amount of time that you drive around trying to find Boulevard, because it's the most impossible thing to find ever. 1967 Ford Angular Racer, number 86. This is a brand spanking new casting. debuting in the Boulevard line. So get the... Now, when I first looked at this casting in the blister, I was convinced that the hood opened. And the hood, or I'm sorry, the trunk. Now, if you look at the trunk is indeed a separate piece. It is not part of the body. It is completely separate. However, the trunk is the rivet. So the trunk is the rivet spot. I think it's built like that because of the crazy angle of the back window. Sorry about that. And I think that's why the casting was built like that. I think it's an interesting choice. Definitely creates an extra piece. But again, this is probably only going to be used in premium. And I'm not really sure how much they will use this casting, to be honest with you. There is the deets on the back. Prints look pretty good. Print on the side. Got your Ford race team on there. Number 67. Very nice to see something that's not number 68. There is the deets on the front. Kind of looks like it's like sticking its tongue at you, but kind of frowning at the same time. Kind of interesting. And then, of course, there is a right-hand drive to it. And there's some deets in there. The seat looks pretty good. I was trying to see if you could see in there, but just can't quite see the seat. And then there is your base deets for this one. Kind of interesting. They're doing the whole Hot Wheels logo, but no print inside. No word print or anything like that. So I think that's rather interesting. So we'll set that guy right there. 87. And make sure we move in order. Porsche 935. We have seen this in premium a bunch of times. It is not a new casting. This was also a chase piece in 2023. So nothing fancy. This has also been a super as well. So Hot Wheels definitely getting their use out of this particular casting. But I'm okay with that. I'm a Porsche guy. So I'll take the biased flavor to it. Does have the arrow blades on it. I think that's the best wheel for this casting. And it's perfectly fine with me if it's always going to have those wheels on there. There is the deets on the top. Does say Porsche on the wing. Porsche across the windshield banner. Comes some print there on the hood parts for the vent openings and whatnot. Porsche symbol on there as well. There is the front prints. Looks pretty good. Kind of wraps around to the side. There is your big circle on the side. Looks pretty good. Again, we've seen this before in premium, so there's really nothing fancy about it, nothing new about it. Just a new deco, which I think is perfectly fine. I think we're going to put that guy up in the pedestal. 88. This is a brand spanking new casting, 96 Honda Accord. Yes, you JDM guys, it looks like Mattel is finally giving a little bit more Honda love. They've been focusing on pretty much everything else besides Honda, but at least we are getting some Honda stuff now. I particularly like this particular touring car. This is one of my favorite eras of racing, or genres of racing, is tour car racing. There is the deets on the side, just say Honda Accord. Comes with the larger 5 spokes in kind of a dull copper, more of a brown kind of color, which I think it looks okay. There is a big roll cage and stuff in there that looks pretty good. Right-hand drive, which is appropriate. There is the prints on the front, looks good. Of course, big nice quality prints on there. And then there is the deets on the back. The prints looks pretty good. The wing on the back is a separate piece. It is metal, but I think it's a separate piece. There is a couple of posts in there. It's kind of hard. You can see through the wing. It's really hard to show that on the camera, but I don't think that is fixed on the body. I think that is a separate piece, but it's metal. And then you do have this piece down here. That is for the exhaust detail. So very interesting design to do that. That is accurate as far as the center exhaust. I think the wing might have a little bit of metal or something on it, and they use that for the rear rivet. But regardless, it looks pretty good. There is the base deets made in Thailand, 95 Honda Accord, 96 Honda Accord. That looks pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy about that one. I'm gonna put that one right there because I think that one's super, super cool. I actually really like that one a lot. We're getting that one in Team Transport in 2024 as well. All right, number 89. This might be personally my favorite in the whole mix. The 95 Celica GT4 in TRD Rally type deco. I think this might be the best one. Just my opinion. So crack this guy open. I'm definitely feeling this one more than the Accord. I'm a little biased. I'm not a Honda fan though, but I love race cars though. I love race cars. This one looks especially nice. The prints look especially crisp. Really, really like that a lot. Looks fantastic. The TRD coloring is just unbelievable. White on white, 6 spokes, looks fantastic. I think they just hit the nail right on the head with every bit of this car. This one looks fantastic. Yeah, this is definitely going to be my favorite. We have one more to look at, but this is 100% going to be my favorite. Definitely going to be my favorite. And this has been my favorite version of this too. Although I think we've only seen the casting twice. I think we've only seen it twice, but that's money. That's cash money. All right, last one in the Boulevard mix, number 90. This is the 2023 Nissan Z. We have seen this in premium before. This is not a new casting. This one is like in a, I don't know, maybe a pace car or something. We'll crack it open and take a look at it, see what the deets are. So it does say the concept is racing on the side. I'm sure there is some purpose to this deco. But this one looks okay. Kind of soaks up a lot of light. It's very, very dark colored. Of course, full prints on the front and the rear because it's a premium. I do like the fact that there's the Nissan and the Z. The Z is part of the base. So nice to get a little bit of print on the base. So there's scuff on there. We'll get that cleaned up a little bit. But it looks okay. It looks okay. It's like I said, it's not a new casting. We've seen it before. This was in premium in that 2-pack that came out of Target. It was in yellow with some copper wheels, I think. So put him there. And then I have one last item to just throw you guys in a curveball because I love doing this. Tonka metal diecast bodies is what it says on there. These are some kind of fantasy, bigger scale, weird trucks. I've looked at these for a little bit. I don't think anybody even carries these anymore. But I used to look at these all the time. I thought they were kind of cool. These are from 2015. So I found these for pretty cheap at a local hobby shop. So I figured I'd just scoop them up and take a look at them. You know, I got them for like $2 or $3 a piece. This is a big rig semi-truck. So they do have rubber tires, and they do have simulated dualies in the back and then a single in the front, which is kind of cool. But they are, Tonkas, so they are meant for kids. So they are relatively large, relatively easy to hold and whatnot. You see kind of what the scale is compared to a standard 164. This particular tow truck has one small moving feature in the back. So that does come down, so you can actually tow. And then a couple of lights there on the top. You can see how narrow the cab is. It doesn't look all that great. But it's a thing. It's a thing. We'll stick him to the side. I have a few different ones to take a look at. I also have a tanker truck. So this one is a little bit different release. This one is 2012. So they were actually making these for quite a few years. But I kind of got the cool ones, or at least the ones that I thought were kind of cool. Especially this tanker truck, which I think is cool. It does say Tonka on the tank. But you kind of have to get the light in there to reflect off of there. It looks pretty rugged. Looks pretty off-road. Definitely, fantasy castings. But at least they try to make them look realistic. Unlike, sometimes like with Matchbox and stuff. They try to make all these trucks look like ridiculously futuristic that just look terrible. Again, dualies in the back, singles in the front. That one looks pretty good. I think this one could actually be potentially modified to be a little bit, fitting to 1/64 scale. Maybe be like a site work truck where he's got to be lifted up a little bit because it's a little bit more rugged. So we'll move that over there. Just put that one guy right there. Got a trash truck as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with a trash bin, but that's okay. So get this guy out of there. This one is probably going to have very minimal functionality too. Yeah, that's all it does. Just up and down. This centerpiece that is silver, that's all metal. And then it does still have the simulated dualies with the big, huge, kind of thicker, heavier duty front wheels, which looks kind of cool. And then of course they just look the same from the outside. It doesn't like do anything else as far as the dump truck, or I'm sorry, the trash truck. But the front end looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like a Peterbilt. It looks pretty realistic. I just wish it came with a trash bin, but of course if you use this to dump the trash bin, by the time you dump it, it'd be back here. So it has like a normal trash truck rear section that you would have a rear loading trash truck, but then it has the top load like with the that literally doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I'm not even gonna put that one on the screen because that doesn't make sense. Anyways, all right, last one, Skylift. This is a crane, and I am assuming that the crane will actually do said crane stuff. Get this one out of there. Giant pile of plastic behind me. So this one looks kind of cool. It's kind of like your medium duty truck. It's a lot of chrome on the front. It's like a lot of chrome. I don't like how like squished they are. You see how like tight the doors are together. I don't really like that look, but this one looks like it does a whole lot of stuff. So that does lift all the way up, which is pretty nice. Ooh, and it even rotates. So it literally does everything. It does all the things that it needs to do. It does say Tonka lift on there as well. Tonka lift. And then there's a little notch here in the back where the little bucket can go to keep it, set. And then that way you have a little platform that the driver can climb up on there and get onto it. So again, dualies with the singles in the front. Just something weird. Just something weird. We can't have Level M without doing something weird. It has to happen. So we'll put that guy there because I think that one's kind of cool. So there you go. That is the Diecast haul. Yes, a lot of Hot Wheels stuff, but a little bit of cool stuff. I just wanted to get those Boulevards out there as well. I know those things have been beat up. I don't want to do special videos for those. I just throw them in. But there you go. Episode 46, Diecast haul, throwing at you. Drop a comment. Appreciate every single one of you guys for supporting the channel, watching my videos, and just being there for me. And you guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Level M saying, peace.